I will spend less minutes than the last speaker. No, because he's done a summary of what I wanted to say. All I wanted to say is that Tinubu is not our problem. The problem is the opposition. We are our own problem. When the opposition is ready, Nigeria will do what? Nigeria will change. The first thing you must know is that we must separate ourselves from the government in power. We must show the difference. I will repeat what I said in one of these conferences. I said to them that when I was in government in Buhari's time, Buhari wanted electoral reform. So a few ministers went to him, convinced him not to sign, that if he signed, Russia will hack the system and impose the wrong president on us. And he refused to sign. The same people are now shouting electoral reform. Tinubu will one day shout for electoral reform. He will. If he doesn't shout, those who are supporting him will do what? Shout for electoral reform. Tinubu is not a problem. You can't say your position and then see, watch the government, watch his pattern, watch even his strategy to win election. His strategy is simple. His pattern is simple. He tries something today, you are weak. He puts something bigger, you are weaker. Which president goes to France to give an award? Or which president goes to France when you are shouting, oh, this man is stealing our money, you are stealing our money to this man, and he still goes to that place. He's asking, what will you do? You can do what? The day you show him you can do something, God will bless you.
I think like every other person has said, what needs to be said have been said. But it's critical that we repeat it as often as we can so that Nigerians know we are together. There's need, very urgent need, for all the opposition parties. Those who are not here today, we're pleading that we all come together to save our dear country. It is critical, it's important. The government we have today, as been said, and continue, is the worst ever in our dear country, Nigeria. Today, there's no governance in Nigeria. The legislative arm is at its worst. The judiciary is no longer hope of the weak or the poor. We all know insecurity, killings and abductions is worse than even countries at war. Just in the past 1 week, 34 in Kebbi, Wednesday, Thursday, 50 in Zamfara on Friday, and today, even while we're speaking today, over 20 already in Adamawa. 6 is all over the country. I just mentioned a few. Poverty have increased dramatically in the past 2.5 years, from 87 million to about 140 million today, the highest in any country on earth. In fact, we now have almost over 30% of all the world poor living in Nigeria. We now have more people living in Nigeria, a country of 240 million, than China and India, a country of 2.8 billion combined. And that's the critical thing. This government has borrowed more in 2.5 years than all the governments since 1999, without anything to show for it. I heard somebody told me today when I walked in here that the food prices have gone down. Actually, we have killed all our farmers because we have imported cheap goods and thrown our farmers into poverty, which will even worsen the hungry situation of Nigeria in the coming future. Manufacturers' houses are full of warehouses without anything to show for it. So we are in a crisis that everybody has to come together to save the country. And I thank those who have started this journey of our coming together all the opposition parties, all our appeals that, yes, we, the masses of Nigeria, have to rise up now, because this situation we are allowed to continue will take its revenge on all of us and our children tomorrow.
Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think we have sat long enough. We are fasting. Let me start with the speech of the chairman of NNPP. That speech has actually captured all the challenges we are facing in this country. I never thought anybody would be asked to make any remarks after listening to that speech. But let me say or advise that the speech delivered by the chairman of NNPP be sent to all the embassies, particularly the Western democratic embassies in this country, as the position of the Nigerian opposition political parties. And again, what you must bear in mind is that the collapse of democracy in Nigeria is going to lead to the collapse of democracy in Africa, because we are the largest democracy in Africa. These are some of the consequences that will definitely affect other democracies in Africa. So I will urge that, or I will call other opposition parties that are not here today to make sure that they are part of this movement of the unity of the opposition parties to ensure we restore our democracy. But with a note of caution, you see, we did this exercise in 2014. Not so. We came together and formed APC because we felt democracy was faulting in 2014. Only for us to end up at the same position we found ourselves in 2014, if worse. Because 2014, the major challenges was insecurity here and there, economy, and so on and so forth. Now it is even worse than what we fought in 2014. So we must have that in mind, that in the event, and we must succeed to make sure that we restore true democracy to our country. That was what we fought for. That was what, the founders of this country fought for. And we fought the military for that. And we must make sure that that is established in this country. So I want to thank particularly our speaker today for highlighting the various challenges facing our democracy in this country, from legislative to security to political parties to elections and so on and so forth. I thank you very much indeed for giving me this opportunity, to make few remarks.
I looked at the high table and I tried to see who did not help in bringing this administration into being. I think all of them did. Well, they are paying the price now. See, for us Christians, they say there is no repentance without penance. So this is the penance they're doing for the government they installed themselves. I want to appreciate my colleague, the chairman of NNPP, for the wonderful delivery that he did on behalf of all of us Nigerians. I want to ask a basic fundamental question to those who are followers and who are shouting continuation of this administration. What is the problem with transmitting results instantly? Why is it a difficult issue? Unless there is something there that the rest of us don't know. And of course, there must be something. We can see it from FCT election. Again, the second issue is, why do you dabble into political parties' mode of selection of their candidates? What is the problem? Why do you want to be a party to it when you are not? You see, in my place, they say if you are not a member of a dancing group, don't be criticizing those who are dancing, that they are not dancing according to the drum. Leave the political parties, let them select their own people. It is not part of your business. The other issue is the level of thuggery that has been introduced into politics now. It has never been this much. We haven't started campaign, and now you can imagine what will happen when we start campaign. The only reason that APC is desperate is because they're sure they cannot win the next election in a free and fair contest. Well, their desperation won't take them too far. As you heard from the address, we're prepared for the shenanigans that they're coming up with. We will defend our votes and we'll make sure that our votes count. We have learned lessons from FCT election. It's a hard lesson though, but we've learned it the hard way. But I just want to assure Nigerians, the position will stand for the truth, we stand for justice, we stand for free, fair, transparent, credible election. I want to thank all of you who have come to grace this occasion and thank my brother chairman and all those who are here today. Before I sit down, let me just caution the administration. Incarcerating opponents or people in opposition will not help their case. I think it is only fair and proper that as Nigerians, they treat us with a lot of caution. They treat us with respect, and they give us the opportunity to be able to stand as opposition in a free, fair society. Thank you very much.
Yesterday, something happened which a lot of people didn't notice. In Kano, there was a massive protest of ordinary citizens who saw the high hand of the authorities in trying to stifle people from speaking their minds. And they protested and demanded. I know there are some security people here in plain clothes. The removal of the DSS director in Kano, who had become an openly declared politician, being used by the unpopular governor of Kano State, Alhaji Kabir Abba Yusuf, whoever against that government or against the federal government is simply being picked by the DSS and locked up, and it reached a crescendo the day before yesterday when a young man was abducted from radio station, taken to the DSS headquarters, and a judge was invited in the night to send that boy to jail. This is what our country had become. I want to tell you, I'm 78 as I stand before you here. I'm not supposed to be in the trenches again. I should be resting. And yet, some of us found it very expedient to still lead the way such that the young among us would imbibe this culture of freedom. What has happened in Edo, which was mentioned in the speech delivered by the chairman of the NNPP, is not even the beginning of what these people can do. But they should know that there is always a retribution in whatever you do in life. That what they are doing to other people will obviously visit them one day. So it is better to do good than to do bad, because the biblical and the Quranic injunction says that do unto others as you would want others to do unto you. We as Nigerians, all of us must be told, and we know that death is a necessary end. We may die today, tomorrow, or we must die. It is a necessary end. So I preach that if you want to die, or if you are dying, you must die for a purpose, and that purpose should be humanity. That purpose should be humanity. These guys that pretend they were voted into power, you can see from their actions that really they did cadabra to become what they are. Because if they had been voted by the people, they don't need to force everybody, every governor, every this, every that to join their party, because they are not sure that they have the majority. And I want to ask, what legitimacy in a country of over 200 million people, and only 10% of the electorates in 2023 came out to vote? Do the arithmetic. The entire votes for the presidential election was less than 24 million, which is just approximately 11% of the total number of the people. Is there legitimacy in such a people that they will exercise absolute powers against us? But I want to tell you that if they succeed, it's because we agree. If we don't agree, I want to assure you that they can pick race. We saw it happen in so many countries. We are not different. We are all human beings. If we don't die today, we may die tomorrow. Why do we die? Why don't we die with honor, dignity? Why should we allow? You want to sack me, Dino? Definitely those that are listening did not say they are bored. So, I think we as politicians must put our act together. If we are honest ourselves, we will not have a deficit of trust as these people have. when we talk to the people, we must convince them that when we are there, we will not also be like these people. And I'm saying this because I know some of them have said so many things in the past, and they have turned 360 degrees from their positions before. They talked of democracy, they talked of this, they talked of that, and they are doing fascism. In fact, Mussolini could have been laughing in his grave when he is told, or Stalin would be rolling on his back in the grave when he sees what some of these people do. They have no conscience. How can leaders, governor, president, 200 people killed in a night, people praying in churches, in mosques are being slaughtered, and there is no word coming from such leaders? I think the problem is not even them, it is us, because we should demand as of right that our leaders address us in these heinous crimes that happen across the country. We kept quiet, so we are encouraging them to do this impunity. We must come out of our comfort zones and confront them. They are defeatable. We can defeat them, and we can do it. Can't we? Can't we? So what are we afraid of? These are ordinary people with whom we were running on the streets before. Just because they've got political power, are they different? No. They are the same human beings. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, sir. You must allow me to conclude. Ladies and gentlemen, Hausa people have a saying which says, "In ana tabarawo, ay tama bisau." I think a better English speaker would translate that. But if they have fault, we have more fault than them, because we conceded to them what they do to us. If we say no, they can't be able to do it. They cannot ride us. And it is time now for us to begin, turn a new leaf, that this country belongs to all of us, and that they are just people among equals, that they are not superhuman beings. And we can no more take it, that the citizens of this country can no more take it. We need people to lead, and we should lead. Thank you very much.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah.